There's only one thing worse than having a negative mindset, and that is having a victim mindset. You might think, but life hasn't been easy on me. And you're right, life is challenging and often throws curveballs that we can't control. But what if I told you that this mindset is exactly what's keeping you from living the life you want? Today, I am going to talk about victim mentality, what it is, how it sneaks into our lives, and most importantly, how to break free from it. Stick around, because this video can completely change your mindset and your future. We often pick up a victim mentality early on without even realizing it. Take a moment to think about all those little situations where, instead of reflecting on what we could have done, we turn to the comforting thought, "It's not my fault, it's because of them."
I was stuck in this mindset of, oh, this is just who I am. I'm an average person, and I'm destined to be an average person for the rest of my life.
When friendships fall apart, maybe we're quick to think, oh, they just didn't understand me. When we're overlooked for an opportunity, the easy go-to is, they just don't appreciate what I bring to the table. And look, I get it. There are plenty of things in life we can't control. Sometimes people are genuinely unfair, or circumstances are truly out of our hands.
And I felt this way during this time because I didn't do anything to make myself stand out.
The more we cling to blaming outside factors, the more we stay locked in place, giving away any power to change our situation. Now, a victim mindset isn't something we just invent for no reason. Often, it's born out of past hurt, betrayal, or feelings of being let down by others.
One of the primary ways you can detect a victim mentality is a victim thinks that there are no options and no choices left.
In a way, it's a natural defense mechanism, but we can become so wrapped up in protecting ourselves that we forget to ask, what could I have done differently? The challenge is that a victim mindset has become so normalized in today's world. We're so quick to comfort ourselves or our friends by saying, it's not your fault.
Look at me, son. It's not your fault. I know.
While this might feel good at the moment, it stops us from taking responsibility. And without that, we stop taking action in our lives. A victim mindset is like a trap that convinces you that you're powerless, that life is something that just happens to you. But the truth is, the most significant control you have is over yourself. Start reclaiming that control and watch how your life, goals, and relationships begin to shift. When you constantly blame others or circumstances for your situation, you stop looking for ways to improve.
Well, if you see someone who has a breakthrough, your victim mindset will look for the reasons why they have an advantage. Oh, that's great. They were able to overcome that stuff. Well, they had a good family supporting them.
You get stuck in a cycle of self-pity and nothing changes. This is what happens. While you're stuck in one place, other people are out there trying, failing, and growing. They're learning from mistakes, taking risks, and finding opportunities. And you're missing out on all of that because you're trapped in the belief that it's not me, it's everyone else. And there's something else that's crucial. If you don't know what you want, it becomes even easier to fall into this trap. If you don't have a clear vision for your life, it's hard to take control. You might find yourself talking about things that are limiting you, like your job or relationship. But when someone asks, what do you want out of life? The answer might be, I don't know.
What do you want? What do you want?
It's not that simple.
What do you want?
And that right there is a sign of being in a victim mindset. When you're unclear about your goals, you're more likely to let life happen to you rather than take the reins and steer your future in the direction you want. It's your mindset that is holding you back more than anything else. So, how do you break free from it? Breaking free from a victim mindset is tough, but it's definitely possible. And I want you to know that the fact that you're here watching this video is already a step in the right direction. So let's look at some practical ways to shift your mindset. 1. Take responsibility. The first thing is to understand that while you can't control everything, you can control your own actions and reactions. Next time something doesn't go your way, instead of thinking it's their fault, try asking yourself, how could I handle this better? When someone's rude to you, instead of blaming them, try focusing on how you respond. You'll be surprised at how much control you actually have.
Chinaman took them from me in Korea, but I went out and achieved anyway. I cannot solve your problem, sir. Only you can.
It's about taking small steps and focusing on the things you can control. Let's say your roommate's mess is driving you crazy. You could get upset and silently blame them for being messy. Or you could step back and think, did I communicate my expectations clearly? By shifting the focus from blame to action, you're empowering yourself to make a change. A victim mentality can trap you in a cycle of hopelessness and frustration.
Maybe it's the same story of things that happened to you in the past. It's those constant hurts, you keep replaying them to yourself and to other people.
But when you start identifying areas where you can take even the smallest action, you can see how your life and your mindset begin to shift. You'll realize that this change, this shift in power back to you, can help you make progress in areas you felt stuck in for so long.
There's always an attitude I can choose. There's a way of thinking I can choose. There's always a decision I can make. No matter where you are in life, there's always.
It's not easy, of course. Changing your mindset is a long journey, but with each small step you take, you'll start to notice big shifts in how you approach life. Practice gratitude. Similarly, another powerful tool to break free from victim mentality is gratitude. Instead of focusing on what you don't have, shift your attention to what you do have. Be thankful for the small things like a warm cup of coffee, a roof over your head, or a good friend who listens.
Look, you have to stop looking at what you don't have and what's not happening for you and start appreciating like what you do actually have. Like, my man, you got on a nice watch, like your hat is fresh. Like, there's a lot of things, your family, there's a lot of things to be grateful for. And that's the only way you can climb out of like a place of focusing on what you don't have is by focusing on like, man, what do I have to be thankful for? And everybody got something to be thankful for. Even a homeless man, if he wanted to, he could be like, yo, I'm breathing today. Like, you know what I mean? Like, my arms work, my legs work. You can start very small, and it's a process, but that's how you can get up out like of a negative space like that.
When you start your day with a gratitude, you'll quickly realize how much it changes your perspective and helps boost your mood. 3. Challenge negative thoughts. Now, let's talk about those thoughts that hold you back. Your thoughts are incredibly powerful, but remember, they're not always true.
Because when negative thoughts creep in, they say one of the things you have to do, which I found is so absolutely amazing, which I've been practicing since I found this out, is you need to challenge those thoughts. And I don't think I've ever thought about it that way. I don't think you've ever thought about it that way either. When you ask yourself, is this really true? Is what I'm saying about myself really true? And more often than not, you're going to find out that it's not true. Most of the things that we think about ourselves, most of the things that we think is going to happen is us trying to predict our future. We're trying to predict something, right? That hasn't even happened. And that's what negative thoughts is. Negative thoughts are things that have not even happened, but we're predicting that this is what's going to happen.
So, when you catch yourself thinking, I can't do this, pause and reframe it. Ask yourself, what steps can I take to make this work? For example, if you've always wanted to start a business but think, I don't have the resources, reframe that to, how can I start small with what I have? Challenging your negative thoughts is key. Instead of believing that you're stuck, shift your thinking to find solutions. And guess what? You don't need a therapist to challenge your thoughts. You can do this yourself. 4. Take action. Now, this might be the hardest step, but it's also the most important. Action creates momentum, even if it's small. Start by taking one tiny step toward your goal. Let's say you're unhappy with your health. Instead of thinking, I'll never get fit, start with a 10-minute walk. Or if you're stuck in a job you hate, apply for just one new position this week. The key is to remember that small actions are always better than no action at all. Number 5. Seek help when needed. And finally, don't forget that you don't have to do this alone. If you're struggling to shift your mindset, talk to a friend, mentor, or even a therapist. Asking for help isn't a sign of weakness, it's a sign of strength. Sometimes, an outside perspective can help you see things in a way you couldn't on your own. Having someone to support you can make the journey feel a lot less overwhelming. You can do this. Changing your mindset isn't easy, but it's worth it. By taking responsibility, practicing gratitude, challenging your negative thoughts, and taking action, you'll start to feel more in control of your life. That's it for today's video. If this helped you in any way, don't forget to like and subscribe for more tips on how to improve your life.